Hi folks, hope you're well. So, earlier today I was watching Talksport and they were mentioning that one of the female footballers was complaining to the organisation about racism. Okay. Well, yes. These things can still happen, of course. But again, okay. As I said before, if you're involved in sport, you have to understand that opposition fans are going to want to try to get you off of your game. If they know that they use a phrase or term that can be something similar to a racist phrase or term, and that can get you off of your game, even if it is actually a racist phrase or term, they will use it even if they're not racist. Even if they're not racist, they will use it. And the reason why they will use it is because they know it will get you off your game. Vinicius Jr., the winger for Real Madrid, Brazilian player, often you see images of him in tears during a game because a fan has said something. So he will react extremely to racial abuse or any abuse. Yeah. Anything that he can deem as racist, then he will deem that as racist. And he will massively overreact. So again, that means that fans know they can get you, they can stop you playing. So again, who's winning? Don't let them win. We all know that real racists are being bloody stupid and idiotic and moronic in being racist, because judging someone purely upon skin colour is stupid. Absolutely stupid. Just ridiculous. We get it all the time, but it's stupid. The whole idea that a black man would have a bigger penis than a man with pinky skin is just stupid. It's wrong. It's idiotic. Idiotic. I remember years ago when I was a kid, there was I can't remember what the bloke's first name was, something Holmes, American bloke with a 10-inch penis. He was pinky skinned. He wasn't black. He wasn't brown skinned. He was pinky skinned. But again, the point of it is that stupidity has, gone, isn't it? But again, it's idiotic. As if, your skin colour would determine your penis size. As if, for a woman, your skin colour would determine the shape of your butt. It won't. It can't. Or how big your boobs are going to be. It won't. It can't. There are pinky skinned women with big boobs and small boobs. There are brown skinned women with big boobs and small boobs. Yeah. No, I'm not talking about the same woman who's got big boobs and small boobs. No. But the same colour skinned people, yeah. They're just as different and just as varied as people with the other type of colour skin. Lighter or darker. It's irrelevant. But there are phrases and beliefs that just, for some idiotically stupid reason, go. Yeah. Why? Don't know. No idea. It doesn't really matter, does it? But like today, I was looking at seeing what was available for TV programs or anything like that, and there is a new program called King's Court. TV program. And I thought, I've never heard of it, so let's have a look on Google to see what it is. And yeah, another one of these programs that is designed purely upon colour of skin. Purely. They've got the ex-Bicycle player Shanique O'Neill as one of the cast. He's not an actor. In any way, shape or form, is that man one of the best actors available for a TV programme right now? No. But he is brown-skinned, and he's famous around brown-skinned people. They all know of him. So therefore, yeah. Will that programme be successful? No. They've obviously gone for writers who are brown-skinned, producers, directors, and so when they thought about who they can get, they thought about who can we get that's brown-skinned, that's a producer or a director or an actor. Who can we get that's... Yeah, rather than... Again, I don't imagine in any way, shape or form that Tarantino, when doing a movie, ever considered the skin colour of the writer or director or producer. Now, sometimes with cast, yes, because there's a story, and in that story, the character is of a certain type of character, and so therefore, often they're quite exaggerated. So, in Tarantino movies, you will have a brown-skinned person playing a certain character. Yeah, okay. So therefore, he went for someone who was particularly, like in Kill Bill. Different characters. One was Chinese looking. In her area, she had all Chinese people, Chinese fighters, that were basically protecting her. That the main character had to kill all the lower ones first, and they were all Chinese. Another one, yeah, I can't remember the film exactly. That film, I'm not sure if there was a brown-skinned, straightforward African American or Africanish type of person. I'm not sure. One of the people that the main character killed in Kill Bill 1 or 2. But again, very typical of Tarantino. Yeah. But it clearly showed he was hiring the best people for the job. With no concern, initially, first of all, purely on their skin colour. It was, who is the best producer? Who is the best director? Who are the best writers? Who are the best screenplayers that we can get to do this? As I say, for certain characters, he may have thought, who are the best African American actors we can get, who will be suitable for this character, who we think can play this character really, really well. Okay, it's fair. Like they would if you had, well, for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, if you were employing dwarfs. Recently, what was it? I think one of the, was it Yamal? The Barcelona player, he had a party. I mean, it's him. It was one of the real up-and-coming players that everyone is really going on about, thinking is wonderful, is basically God as a football player sort of thing. But he had a party and hired a load of dwarfs to perform something. What they performed, I do not know. What they were doing, I do not know. They could have been serving drinks, I don't know. They were doing something. And a lot of people on the left got very upset that he hired dwarfs. And, yeah. They mentioned it on the Talk Sport, and Simon Jordan was absolutely right, saying, what the reality is, if he had said he's not going to employ dwarfs because they're dwarfs, you would have a reason to be upset. If they want dwarfs to be there, and they actually hire dwarfs to be there, are they paying them? Are they saying to the people, do you want to work? And the people have a choice? Then why have you got a problem with it? Yeah, if you're tall and you get employed for a job because you're tall, should we be unhappy? Should we say that's out of order? Yeah. Yeah. We have way too much stupidity right now in the world. Way too much. But look, the reality is, they make these TV programs and these movies that are basically racist. And again, the reason why I mentioned the football player to start with, you can find as much racism now coming from brown-skinned people as you can coming from the other way. But who are the ones who bitch about it the most? Well, I mean, I've said a story before when I worked in Brixton in London. And, yeah, the degree of racism I come across from the people in Brixton who are brown-skinned, highly racist against pinky-skinned people, really quite vile and vicious with their racism. Now, again, I'm not saying they're worse than anyone else. It's the same. It's the same. You find racism, like in America, you find a lot of racism in brown-skinned communities because, again, if you've got parents teaching their children who are brown-skinned that the police hate them, they're saying the police hate them because they're brown-skinned. That's a racist thing to say. It is. It is. If you say that we are victims because of our skin colour, even though you might not be, it might have nothing to do with skin colour. Again, do the police, and again, I can't say absolutely, the answer is no. Do the police target brown-skinned people more than they do pinky-skinned people? The evidence that I've seen, which is not absolutely conclusive, so come on, I'm not an American to start with, and I'm not going to study such a subject, but I've seen videos where they have actually talked about this, and they've asked a question to a classroom of students who think that basically at least 70% of murders of people will be against brown-skinned people. And yet the evidence is no. There's less brown-skinned people in proportion of both population and proportion of crimes committed. There's less brown-skinned people killed by police than there is pinky-skinned people. And so, yeah. But again, as I said at the start, there are a lot of things said that are believed to be true that are not true, that have virtually no basis for belief. And those things are, in themselves, racist. Because, as I say, if you claim that you are a victim of the police purely because of the colour of your skin, when, first of all, you're no more a victim to the police as pinky-skinned people, but you're making out you are, you're doing it for racist reasons. And so therefore, I'm sorry, you're racist. There's as much racism amongst brown-skinned people as there is pinky-skinned. Now, again, yes, I understand. That, yes, it was normally speaking, not always, absolutely, but normally speaking, it was pinky-skinned people enslaving brown-skinned people at the most recent time of slavery. Again, the reason why I said not always is because in Africa, Yes. Yeah. A lot of people that came over to Africa for trade or whatever, who were pinky skinned and, were weakened by conditions in Africa and whatever cholera and whatever other things that were there. Was cholera there? I don't know, something was there. They were enslaved by the tribes. So therefore, yes, it is a case that brown-skinned people did enslave pinky-skinned people. Of course they did. Of course they did. In every situation, the people in power have at some point enslaved the people who are weaker for whatever reason. And so therefore, yes. In situations in Africa, if pinky-skinned people found themselves in Africa, they could quite easily find themselves to be enslaved by the people there. Yes. Now, this is not in any way, shape or form trying to say that it was therefore okay for pinky-skinned people to enslave brown-skinned people. No. And I'm not saying it's therefore, because brown-skinned people were enslaved, it means that they have a valid reason to be racist now. No, again, they don't, because the people being racist now, who are brown-skinned, they weren't enslaved. So therefore, no. Slavery gives them no justification whatsoever. At all. Zero justification is what they get because of slavery, because slavery didn't impact them. And again, because of George Floyd. No, because they weren't George Floyd. They didn't go through what he went through, so therefore they can't use that. Why? Because he had the same skin colour? Excuse me, there's a lot of pinky-skinned Americans or Russians or whatever who get badly treated. Certainly in America, there's a lot of pinky-skinned people that get badly treated by brown-skinned people or brown-skinned police. Does that mean that we have the right to be racist? No. Yeah, and so therefore, I'm sorry. Put it this way. If anyone says that women have the right to be sexist, women have the right to hate men, and that brown-skinned people have the right to be racist against pinky-skinned people because of what they've gone through, understand what you're putting pinky-skinned men through now, expect in the future for them to be sexist, more sexist and more racist. And it'd be the fault of you. So, try to be a bit wiser about the excuses that you make and claim, because they could be used against you one day. So, probably a good idea not to do that. So, there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. And get the best people. No matter what their skin colour, get the best people. Then you have a better chance of what you're doing actually being successful. Right? Take care. Speak to you soon. Be a blessing, be blessed, and have a fantastic week ahead. And enjoy the weather, whatever it is. Bye-bye.